I am here with Anita this morning, and I asked Anita to come on and share her experience with working with me because Anita didn't know me from a bar of soap before she started working with me, and the very first program she picked was the 10-day parasite program. So, Anita, will you tell us a little bit about what your life was like round about then? What interests you about the parasite program and what you were really wanting to get out of, like, why you decided to sign up and do it?
Yeah, so my life back then, to be honest, I was so much more burnt out than I realized. And I wanted to do the Parasite program because so many people I followed on social media were doing the Parasite program with you. And I had the biggest FOMO because I wanted to feel like lighter and I wanted to evict the critters. And I knew I had them. A really obvious sign for me, of course, which I didn't realize at the time was what my tongue looked like, and the lines, and oh, my tongue just looked like a crazy map. And it took me a while to realize that that was a clear sign of parasites. Plus, I thought I had a lot of dandruff. I had an itchy head, and so many things just made sense. After I got to know your world. So I obviously bit the bullet. It was a really big call for me at the time. Not that I have any issue with investing in a business sense, but it was a big call emotionally, mentally for me to get my head around investing in my health, which I'm sure is common for a lot of people. But I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I did. And then obviously I've gone on to complete more programs. But yeah, that was like my intro to your
So,
world.
Anita, as an entrepreneur with her own business, plus a side hustle of renovating your home and like side hustles of investments and all these amazing things you do, and a total IT guru and genius, and a mum to two young children. When you heard about the 10-day program, did you think it was gonna, like, were there any concerns for you around time, effort, food? Over promising. Like, we've all heard people talk on the internet, you're going to get this and you're going to get this, and I'm going to be the practitioner. People, whether it's business related, health, like any area, we've heard promises that people don't necessarily deliver. So, what was your experience? Like, talk us through it.
So going into it, I have to say, like full transparency, the thing that really won me initially is there was no crazy health claim. As somebody who didn't know you, you see these programs are like, you're gonna lose 7 kilos in 7 days. Those are unbelievable. But the fact that there was no crazy health claim, yes, I knew I was gonna feel better, but that looked different to everybody. And that to me was the relatability and the realness that I needed to bite the bullet. I was a little concerned about how I was going to do it while still feeding my family because I knew that I would have to change the way that I ate. But once I got that PDF recipe guide from you, I realized I'm so thankful that I got it a couple of days early so that I could read it and I guess just get my head around what I needed to buy and how I could prep. And like it really wasn't as overwhelming as I thought, but I also went into it with the belief that I knew something in my body needed to shift. And so I was always going to give it 100% anyway.
And do you know what, Anita? You've just reminded me. So we'll detour for a second. So what Anita said is, yes, we did do PDFs, and forever I've done 10-day program workbooks and PDFs and daily coaching with me. But Anita said something. So as part of all my 10-day programs and the 12-month program that Anita is now part of, you get access to me coaching you in Telegram. And Anita doesn't even know this, but she is the one that planted a seed that me and Anita have gone on to create something else. And Anita did not know this was where the interview was going, but she said this one thing that reminded me. So she got the PDF early, and in the group chat, Anita, because I think one of the most beautiful things about all my programs is the community. You're with like-minded, health-conscious people that want to support you and get results. So, and I read the chat. I start reading it before the program begins, and I see Anita drop into the chat and say, being the tech genius that she is, hey, I've taken Shelley's PDF, I've put it through ChatGPT, and I've created my own meal plan. And if any of you guys need some help with that, I'm more than happy to help you and give you the guidance. And I was like, huh, she's doing what clients are going to start doing. And the health world, this was back last year, so 2025, has really not caught up. Practitioners are not seeing where our clients are going and how they're going to use tech. And as a practitioner, we either get to change how we do things. And yes, the PDF's a nice idea, but it's a lot like, do you remember growing up, Anita? What was the machines that used to go onto the wall? Those OHS machines, and we'd like do you remember when you'd put those plastic, what were those machines?
Um,
And it would reflect the
oh,
like image onto the
uh,
wall.
I
And
know
you'd
the
sing
machine.
this, yeah.
I
And so
know the machine.
it's like looking back at that, right? Where it's like, so as a health practitioner, I watched this. And then in the next program Anita was in, I watched more people using ChatGPT. And I was frustrated as the practitioner because I was like, great use of technology, but ChatGPT doesn't have my frameworks. It doesn't have my brains. It doesn't have. So people are getting information, but it's not the right information and they're still getting inflamed. So over Christmas, while everyone else was napping, I reached out to Anita and I said, Anita, we are creating our own robot going forward for every single 10-day program. So people can have PDFs and they can have the old school, but let's bring Shelley Gower functional nutrition into the new world of robots and tech. And so Anita, with her IT genius and her business and everything she does, she has created me the most epic anti-inflammatory robot that nobody else in the health world is doing. I am the first practitioner to have this available for clients and non-clients, and we have robots for all of our programs now, thanks to Anita. So, Anita, you inspired it, your generosity, and then your hard work. So then, Anita, you obviously worked really hard for me over Christmas while having a lot of other clients and doing a lot of other work. So and still having your children with you. How do you manage? And so, oh, okay, I'll ask you two questions. How do you manage that energy wise? But from the 10-day parasite program, what then made you decide to then come into my world even more? Even though I didn't have fancy tech, Anita, back then.
I just wanted to say thank you first and foremost because you are a pleasure to work with. But the way that your brain thinks, like I will never not be surprised, like in awe, impressed. Just the way that you articulate things and the speed that you move. Like I just have to say that the speed and the fact that there are a lot of people that like to just hand off the work. You're very in it and you stay with me every step of the way. And that is brilliant. And it's a credit to what you're like as a coach, as a practitioner as well. You never just diagnose, tell people what they should do and then leave them to it. And I think that's really worth mentioning. Okay, so over Christmas, how did I cope with it all? To be honest, the biggest thing for me is doing that initial parasite program. I realized how much energy I was missing from my life. At the end of it, I felt so much better. And each consecutive program, I've obviously done different programs with you now. I'm in your 12-month container. Now, your 12-month container for me was a big call in an investing in myself sense because of the fear around, I guess, what if I don't have time? What if I don't prioritize this? But the biggest thing, of course, was like making that commitment to myself because I put it down to something which is going to sound quite ridiculous. I thought about how much time I wasted on like Netflix, on like scrolling reels. And I was like, if I just dedicate, that 30 minutes or 60 minutes to something that will better myself, what is my health going to look like? What is my mental health going to look like in 12 months time? And obviously, your 12-month container was a no-brainer. After chatting to my husband, I got his full support, which is a little bit uncommon in today's society because quite often you've always got that one partner that like stops you in your tracks. But thankfully, mine was really helpful. I obviously, as you know, I had a really big surgery, and it was really important for me to focus on my health going into that surgery, but also out the other side. Yeah.
And it was. And so, Anita, for you, has it been hard? Are the things to get health, is it hard? What am
No,
I right?
no. So it takes a life change and a commitment, but it's not major. It's just things that A lot of them are common sense, dare I say it. Like it's habit setting. Anybody that's been in business, anybody that's been an entrepreneur knows that it takes, 90 days just to create a new habit, et cetera, et cetera. We've all been to those seminars. We've all learned that. But the biggest thing is it's not hard. It's a commitment, but it's a choice. And I chose that I needed to be healthy for my children. Obviously, my surgery meant that I was laid up for a while, but I had to get my body moving again. And I have to continue to work on my health because I don't want to not keep up with my kids.
Right. And then also, like, I see so often being an ex-accountant, as you know, in a banker, like, I will talk to business owners and they'll tell me, oh, I can't do that because of my health. Oh, I can't do that because I get too tired. I don't have the energy. I have to say no to this opportunity. And I'm like, do you realize what you're saying? Your health is costing you money. You're too scared to spend the money on your health, but you're saying no to clients, no to opportunities, no to international, like all of these things because you don't have great health. So I'm like, you need to invest in your health so then you can make more money because they go hand in hand. The better health you have. And like Anita, I've seen that with you from like when we first started working together and you were tired. Like there's no denying it. And I mean that respectfully, but you're a mom and you're
Yeah.
an entrepreneur and you're a wife and you're all these things as we are in today's world. And now you've got energy. Like
And
now,
I had a really short fuse back then. I had no tolerance for life, for being a wife, for, if something went wrong at home, like I would snap really easily. And as I've got healthier, the weight, the foggy, like the heaviness of life, my tolerance is so much better. The only other thing I wanted to really mention on this as well is for anybody watching this that thinks that they might be too unhealthy. Obviously, my surgery was major. Like I was really unhealthy. I'm not going to lie. And I think it's really worth mentioning that don't cross yourself off if you think you're too unhealthy for this scenario for Shelley's world. I mean, mine was a result of childbirth. I ended up having to have my bowel repaired. Like it was a big,
it was
big, big
big.
deal. It was major surgery. And I just want to say that I'm still like, Shelley was so willing to work with me. The community inside Shelley's world were amazing. Like emotionally, they helped carry me through all the emotions of being on bed rest. Like, yeah, I'm very thankful for this space.
It's such a, and that's like so many people, Anita, but probably because of health, like in the entrepreneur world, we're used to group programs. Like, as a business owner, totally used to it. When it comes to health, people very much want the one-on-one. But what I found as a practitioner for the last decade is in health more than almost anything I've seen, you actually need the like-minded community. Your practitioner is just not enough. Like, I can get you the goals, I can get you the better adrenals, I can help you with your hormones, I can help you with your skin, and I can provide some emotional support, but that doesn't cut it for the days that you're so like we're just going through the motions of health. And like you said, when you've got two young kids, a business still, and you're on bed rest, I watched, and it's the caliber of people because energy attracts energy. And I'm very like the reason why I get people to fill in an application form, I want to make sure the community is a right fit. And Anita, you can testify to this. So when you were, everyone gets around each other.
Yeah.
And there's some weeks that everything's perfect and we're all celebrating and we're all just cheering everyone on. Like this week's a classic week where it's like boom, 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 everything's working for all of us.
Yeah.
And then somebody has a fight with their husband, or somebody has an operation, or somebody has a mold exposure.
And then you get me hopping on the Zoom call one week to cry about my pulse because I was so frustrated at my lack of results at that time. But everybody encouraged me to stick to it. And look at it now.
And Anita, so I'm going to ask you a few fun rapid fire questions because I know you have to go and pick up the kids too. What is the most fun tool that you've learned from being in my world?
Oh, pulse testing is fascinating. I hated it. It
I know,
made me
that's why I thought it's
so
funny. I knew you were going to say
it
that.
made me so uncomfortable, but it's so fascinating now to see after I eat certain foods, I'm testing it on different foods that I wouldn't necessarily eat to see what meals are doing what to my body.
And what made it, I know the answer to this because I witnessed it, but what made it so uncomfortable for you? That one test That is really just you measuring your pulse for 60 seconds. But why was it so uncomfortable?
I think because it highlighted to me what I knew I needed to address, but I thought that I could do it on my own. And I like that in a nutshell. I was like, I had the old school mentality, calories in, like calories out, all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm about to turn 40, I'm getting closer to premenopause, all that sort of stuff. And after I had my second child, I didn't bounce back. And it's been this like issue within myself. And I knew that I needed help, but I kept thinking I could do it on my own.
And what highlighted that you couldn't?
I think my lack of discipline in a way, because I would do it until it got hard and then I would stop. But
Yeah.
now I have the accountability of you. I have the accountability of showing up for everybody else that is actually doing the thing. Like in those 10-day challenges, for example, when everybody checks in every day, like it motivates you, right? Because you want the results that they're getting. So you do the do.
Okay, so pulse testing's the most interesting. What is the most fascinating thing you've purchased
Oh
with
my
me or
goodness.
from me?
Wow. I'm obviously a really big fan of the flow tools.
Okay, good. I was hoping you'd say that.
And obviously,
You would
this is
be.
not from you, but I've never dry brushed before you. But the tools, honestly, the flow tools, the lymph tools, it's something I didn't realize should be a part of my everyday world.
And what has been the most surprising thing, like the gift that you didn't realize you'd get from this program?
Um, in a weird way, for me, the gift is like the self-love aspect. Like I've come to love myself again and my health journey, and I never thought like obviously when I was pre-surgery, I was in a really dark place, and now I'm out the other side, but also now I see so much potential for my future, and I don't think that my age needs to hinder what I do, like the
Anita,
yeah.
I've really witnessed that in you as well. Like from when we first started interacting, well, you were so polite and lovely to me, like such a nice human. When we first started interacting, it was almost like through no fault of your own, but there was a lot of blame that probably you'd heard people put on you when your surgery and what happened was no fault of your own. But it was very like overwhelming and as it would be like so I'm not like but
Yeah.
and so it was very like doom and dark and will I ever come out of this place and can I ever live my life again, will I ever be empowered because all of this happened to me, which is all the correct story because all of that did happen to you. And now it's like when I hear you talk, it's like you're so empowered. It's turned into a gift. It's turned into like I've learned so much. I've got tools for myself, for my husband, for my children. And
Yeah.
like, never do I hear you resentful of what you're eating, the tools that we're doing. Like, your whole family, including your children, have embraced the flow tools. Like, in your
Yeah.
family, you're all fighting over them,
We
right? Like,
fight over them.
which is just the best.
And another really big part, which I think is worth mentioning, is the blood test aspect. So I would never know how to read my own blood results ever. And I've always gone to the GP, and I've obviously only ever got a small amount of bloods done, but they only give you so much of the picture. They don't take the time to explain what it actually means and what this is doing to your body and how to improve this result. They just say, this is your result at the end. See you later. So that I'm super thankful for the knowledge aspect from yourself, but also everybody else in the container that is going through their blood results. For anybody who doesn't realize, I got a lot of bloods run, and Shelley has helped me understand them and work through. I did them pre-surgery. I'm going to do them again post-surgery, and we're going to compare them.
And Anita, for people, because like blood work is really stressful for people, numbers, like all of that. Like, obviously, I love numbers, it's my jam. And I know you being techie, you love numbers, so it didn't freak you out. However, there's also not being freaked out, but also not being empowered. So when I teach blood work, because I know people would love me to be able to do this in like a week or a one appointment. What has been your experience learning blood work over this long amount of time now, months now? And can you see why now, all these months into my world, we can't do it in a week? What would be your
Yeah.
like, what would you share on this for others?
I guess for me is you see so much marketing and hype these days about how you can like have changes overnight. And the reality is that you can't until you're really in the trenches, unless you do a lot of work leading up to it. Sure, then your result can happen really fast because it's a flow on effect of all the work you've done that you can't see, right? But the biggest realization for me is that to change my blood work results, for example, to change my health, to change my life, it's going to take a lot of micro steps regularly. I'm going to have to do the work, but it's not going to be overnight. And it was a bit to get my head around in my doom and gloom state of life that I was in back then. But what's come as a result of obviously working with you and being in this container, I've obviously made a huge commitment to myself. I've obviously made a huge commitment to my family for being a better me. But out the other side, like I feel so much lighter. And as a result, as you know, while I was on bed rest, I completely like redid my whole business model. Like so many things came out of this. So many good things have come out of this space.
And one more thing, Anita, before I let you go, is when, because everyone can make promises online. When practitioners or promise that they're in there with you, like they're really in there answering your responses, replying to your questions, making sure that like you are getting goals. And like I talk about that on my website, but we're all gonna read it and be like, yeah, whatever, that's 5 minutes a day. Or whatever mindset we've got from working with people or whatever it is when I talk about like actually like holding your hand, but also pushing you, challenging you, encouraging you, giving you autonomy, and really getting authority over and empowerment, is that true? Like, what is your experience of actually me showing up for you?
Yeah, okay. So it's really interesting because you are so different from anybody else that I've seen in the online space where you have all these promises, but they're actually there. Not that a lot of people, not that everybody's not there, but let me clarify. What I mean is that you have this entire course community in Kajabi. You have so many lessons and so much knowledge. Plus, we have our Friday check in where we get to submit the form where you can then review that on a Monday and check in with us. We obviously drop our protocol for the week, which you can help us tweak. We then have our weekly call with you where we can ask questions, and then you're like obsessed with our health in the best way and you're in the Telegram chat. Like, there's so many touch points. And it's so uncommon for somebody to dedicate that much of themselves as a business owner because a lot of us, obviously me included, we want that segregation at some point to sort of reset for ourselves. But you reset after a 10-day program, but your 12-month people, the people like myself, like you are there with us when we need it, like I appreciate so much how much of yourself you must give up to be there for us, but I'm also equally so thankful that you are.
And you know what, Anita, as a practitioner, I promise you will end on this. I really think that those, while it might feel like hard work, those weekly check-ins, the Friday forms that get filled on Friday or anytime over the weekend, such gold nuggets. Because what I found when I used to just do one-on-one appointments in person was there's so many things that trip you up, or there's so many things you don't speak out loud or ask. But when you're on a form, you'll just write in, and then I'm like, great, this is what she needs. Great, this is what. And so it really helps me. Or I go, great, the group needs more trainings. I'm going to create more trainings
Yeah.
if that's even possible. Poor Anita's like, oh my gosh, we've got all these trainings, and now we've got more in our inbox where she's done more videos, more trainings. Because it means so much to me that people get the right support, the right education, and get empowered. And that's what you are, Anita, like living proof of the empowerment piece.
Yeah. And and I don't know how to word this without I'm just going to say it. There's an accountability in your world, especially in the 12-month container where you hold us accountable. Like that was a bit that it was confronting, but in a good way. Like I can't hide, right? My results, like they tell no lies. Obviously the voice print tells no lies. So you can tell if we're not actually doing the work, but you call it out in such a professional like way. And I think that's really important that when you say something or when you call us out, you do it so respectfully, but we both know that you're not trying to be disrespectful. You're doing what we asked you to do. We invested in this container to change our health, and sometimes that is uncomfortable. But it's a really beautiful, the energy is just so beautiful. And I just wanted to say that it's not like a, you join the container and that's it. You just glide by and check in whenever you want. Like, you actively have to be in it. Yes, there is a commitment to show up, but you want to show up because everybody's showing up.
And Anita, and I think that we'll just end it nicely here as well as also we understand life happens. So yes, I hold you accountable, but there's the grace piece too, where it's like, okay, a lot like with your operation.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give and in my head, I'm literally like, she can have 3 weeks if she's not back in here. And then the next person, I'm like, they can have 10 days because this has happened to their family. And then literally
Yeah.
you see me like tap the person and be like, excuse me, we haven't heard from you. Your form's not complete, your time is up, your grace period. And that is so because I honor the commitment you've made. And that's why I make it a 12-month program. Yes, you can have the bite size of the 10-day programs by all means, and that's great. And you'll see things and you'll experience change. But I know I can't get results, and you're living proof I can't get your best results in 3 months or 6 months. Like, this is after 10 years of working with people, I know the level of what we need to do to get you into full, abundant, amazing health, living your best life for you to be educated and empowered and be the best version for yourself, your business, and your family.
Yeah.
So, Anita, one more thing, I promise you, final thing. My famous words. What is the one thing that you're going to focus on next with your health? Where do you believe you need to focus to up level it?
So for me, at the moment, my focus is all on my lymph, obviously. But my next focus and what I think I really need to focus on is to do my bloods again, reassess, and then get a really big focus into the longer game. I'm somebody who loves to map it out, as you know. So I think I need to do my bloods again to see where they're sitting and then make a really solid plan from there as to where my focus should go.
And Anita, typical Shelley style coaching live. When are you going to get your bloods done again? When are we booking it in? What's the date?
Well, because I got them done pre-surgery, which would have been August, to be honest, I could get them done anytime from now. I can get them done in the next month.
Okay, what I want in the Telegram chat this afternoon, once you've picked up Cooper, I agree with you. So I want a date, not just in
Yeah,
like, and I know for
amazing.
you,
I'll
you've
book
got to,
it in.
and I know you've got to travel, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
not making you and childcare and all the rest. But I agree with you. By the end of March, we want them in.
yeah,
Done.
amazing. I can do
Thank,
that.
thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Nita, for your time and sharing your journey with us. And also for everyone watching this, and when you see Herbie come out, Anita is the creator behind it. She has been phenomenal, and she has literally taken everything from being in my world, which has really helped be able to create Herbie. But more importantly, just Anita's knowledge. Like, I could not be dreaming of the things that I want to do for clients' future without having Anita and her support and just her IT genius. Is like, if you're a business owner listening to this and you use any sort of tech, Anita can solve anything. I'm like any platform, she's like IT ninja. She calls herself a business bestie, but I'm like, she's actually a ninja because I'll be like, Anita, what about this program? Oh, let me just tell you that 5 years ago I did this, and this, and I can definitely help you with this, and let's do this, and this, and this, and this will talk. That's how much of a ninja Anita is. So if you're a business owner, you need Anita in your world. And she's an absolute dream client. So thank you so much, Anita.
Thank you.
To me, Jess.